I love music. Music has been one of those things I've loved since I was a child and has been something that's really inspired a lot of what I've created. And when people ask me what my favorite genre of music is, I just tell them I love every kind of music. Because honestly, I love every kind of music. I even love Baby Shark. But one of my all-time favorite artists is the Beatles. When you think of the Beatles, you think of some of their most popular songs, like, Hard Day's Night, 8 Days a Week, Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, Yesterday, Hey Jude. Like, there's so many Beatles songs that are just so phenomenal. And even though I personally think all of these songs are incredibly fantastic and amazing, they're not my all-time favorite Beatles song. And that's because my all-time favorite Beatles song is I've Got a Feeling. No, not the Black Eyed Peas version. And you know what, maybe you haven't heard of the song, and honestly, I don't blame you. On Rolling Stone's Top 100 Beatles song, this song ranks at 64. So, it's down there. Now, there's many reasons why people like this song, like Paul's vocals on it are very strong, like the guitar work is really nice, the song's really catchy. But for me, none of these reasons matter, because the most important thing for me is the story behind this song. And this song appears on the final Beatles album called Let It Be. At this point, it was so obvious that the Beatles were gonna break up. Like people were like fighting each other, some of the Beatles members were storming off, and I mean, tensions were at an all-time high. And at this point, the Beatles themselves had changed so much. I mean, for starters, they didn't all have the same haircut anymore. But more importantly, they weren't working the same as they did when they first started out. And that fact goes especially for John Lennon and Paul McCartney, who are arguably the two most important members of the Beatles. And this song, I've Got a Feeling, is all about that shift in the Beatles. So because the thing is, the song is actually a mix of two different songs. The first song was written by Paul McCartney, and it's called I've Got a Feeling. But the second song was written by John Lennon, and it's called Everybody Had a Hard Year. Now, Paul wrote I've Got a Feeling because for him, everything was going great. He was about to get married to Linda Eastman, the future looked really bright, he was happy. And the song shows that. It's such an upbeat, exciting kind of feeling. But John had a hard year. John was going through a divorce. He was arrested for drug possession, his girlfriend Yoko Ono had a miscarriage, and he was growing deeply unhappy with the Beatles. The two main stars of the group were going in completely different directions. One was incredibly excited about the future and, had a very happy and promising future for himself. Whereas the other one was facing the harsh realities of his issues and was going through a very difficult time in his life. And also, I want to stress that the song is actually good. It's not like a bad song with a huge story that's actually really interesting. The song is good. The point I'm trying to get at here is that there's always a story behind the art. People don't just wake up and create because something just comes to them and they're like, oh, that sounds good, or oh, that looks good, I'm just gonna do it. People create because it means something to them. It is an expression for them. And I've always liked that about songs. Like, I always love looking into the history of the songs or the reason why they were written, because for me, it adds so much information to the actual song itself. My favorite Kanye West album is 808 and a Heartbreak, because you can really hear the pain of those relationships he was going through. And the final example I have is Thank You Next by Ariana Grande. Now, I'm not going to explain this one. I don't think I need to explain this one. You can figure it out. Just listen to the song. The answer's so obvious. Just listen to it. But I've always felt that the story behind the song, the reason why it was written, what the author or the artist is trying to say, can tell us so much more about a song or a piece of art or really anything. And I love those little details because it kind of makes it more relatable for me. And I'm just like, oh, this holds more meaning to me than the actual song itself. And I know that all of that sounds nerdy, but you know what? I'm a nerd. You should just know this by now. I'm a huge nerd. And that's the thing I love about Spotify, because Spotify has that genius thing on it. And basically it tells you so much information about the song. And I love reading that because, I don't know, for me it adds value to the song. It adds more meaning, and I kind of appreciate it more. And I don't know why I like it so much, but I do. But I want to hear from you. Leave your favorite song in the comment section below. It doesn't have to be a Beatles song, I don't care, but I want to know what your favorite song is. If you're into creativity, storytelling, or personal development, check out my website, The Clearly Illiterate Cafe. I post blog posts, we have projects going on there, everything revolving around creating, being an artist, storytelling, creativity, and all of that stuff. I'll leave the link in the description below, make sure you check it out, and I will see you guys in the next video, hopefully. You know.